making a scene.
I'm in the middle of a grand jury, Mr. Freddo. What are you doing here?
Breaking news. My client decided to testify.
Oh, really? Does he understand that he has to waive immunity?
He knows. Buckle up, Sonny.
If my special guest, Lou Martini Jr., looks familiar, that's because he's played 12 different characters on Law and Order Special Victims Unit as Counselor Freddo and Law and Order Criminal Intense Detective Rossman. Or maybe you recall when he played Anthony Infante on The Sopranos. There's no limit to award-winning actor Lou Martini Jr.'s incredible acting resume. So excited to have him back on the show. Our special guest, Lou Martini Jr. Lou, I can't even tell you how wonderful it is to see you again. How are you, my friend?
Oh, thank you for the kind words. Really, really, really much appreciated. It's always good to see and talk to you guys. It's been a while since we've last.
It has been. You know, I was saying to my co-host, Kristina, the last time that you and I spoke and you came on my show, it was under different circumstances, which were really, really sad. And it was the passing of the man from The Sopranos, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Yes,
I think it was recently after that. So
yeah.
that had to be 2000 and maybe, oh, geez.
Yeah.
It's gotta be 10 years ago, I guess, maybe,
It
right?
was so long ago, and our hearts were all broken. And you were just so wonderful to come on with us to share about all of the time. And
Jimmy stories. Yeah, one of the greats.
yeah. But a lot has gone on. Time has moved forward. We've gotten through COVID. Here we all are. And I pray that your family and all have been healthy. And yes, you're still doing wonderful things.
Yeah, we have. I actually had a little bit of a scare with the all the vaccinations and the boosters and stuff. I actually got sick with it. I had some health issues that were directly responsible, attributed to the vaccine. So my union right now, still to this day, I don't know why, but still to this day, you have to be fully vaccinated to work on a set now.
Wow.
And we're the only union in the country, or only profession in the country right now, that is still asking for that for some reason. But I got sick from it. I wound up getting a mass in my chest and some swollen lymph nodes.
Oh my
And thankfully, my doctor has given me a letter where I am to no longer vaccinate, booster, or anything with that COVID stuff.
Yeah.
I've had it. So I was one of the first people to have it. I had it out in LA that first month when it hit the West Coast.
Yes.
LA first. I was at a film market in LA, and I had a terrible flu, and it wound up being COVID. And I was sick on and off for like 3 months.
Oh my
Wow.
goodness.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people were saying that they thought they had COVID before it actually got to be a thing, like that back in March 2020. Like,
yeah, my doctor treated it as a walking pneumonia, but it was COVID. It was COVID.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that you're out of that phase where I've heard a lot of people too that have had issues with the vaccine, and it is kind of scary when we get these things, because you just kind of had to choose, like, which one is scarier. Something might happen with the vaccine, or maybe COVID. But
and I wish no one a biopsy through the nipple. I wish that on no one. That is unbelievable. Even it being numbed, I had to get 12 needles in my nipple where the mass was for a biopsy. And
Oh my goodness.
horrible.
you have been through a lot there, Lou.
Yeah.
Jeez. Well, keep you in my prayers. But that's why you get tough. I think that's why you get tough for Law and Order. Because for those roles, right?
Hey, I'm from New York City. I'm a street guy. I was born.
Okay, so you're tough. Okay, so I have just had the best time, like, watching through all of your reels and everything like this. And I think when you have all those shots of you playing this, lawyer type, which is in a lot of different shows that you've done, is there so much that you have to memorize? Because I would just think that I might walk around feeling like I'm a lawyer now and I know the law, because you're so good at it.
Thank you. It's funny. Up until about, 4 or 5 years ago, my honey Liz has been telling me to stop dyeing my hair for years. And about, I guess, 4 or 5 years ago, I was still dyeing my hair, taking the gray out, and I did a Mrs. Maisel on Amazon that showed the Marvelous Mrs. Maisel.
Yeah.
And I cut my hair really short for the guest spot, and my gray was coming in. And the hairdresser on the show, who I know for years, says, "Lou, you got some nice gray hair under there. Why don't you let it grow in?" I was always so like, well, I'm still playing 40s and late 30s on television. I don't want to kind of look my age yet. He says, "Listen, believe me, do it." And my girl had been telling me for 5 years, listen, you're looking like the guys at OTB with the orange hair. Stop dyeing your hair. You probably have a nice head of hair there. So I let it go gray. And literally the next couple of months, I booked 7 guest spots and recurring spots in a row, 5 of them lawyer parts. I never got near a lawyer part before I went gray. You know, it kind of opened up a whole new world for me. I wasn't just playing, you know, dirty cops or you know, the janitors that beat their wives or mafiosos, that kind of.
Yeah.
You know, now I'm playing senators and lawyers and things like that, you know,
But
which
you
is
know,
pretty wild.
you're taking the stand like Andy McDowell, because she just came out saying the same thing. She said she's embracing it.
Yeah.
And she actually said in an interview how someone had, I couldn't believe someone said this to her. She said, well, how does it feel to get old? And she was just like, I felt so bad for her. And I'm thinking, are you kidding me? This is like the time where, first of all, I'm sure when you're sitting in makeup in all of that process and stuff, that can wear on you too. And not to mention with the chemicals and stuff, if you want to go down that track, but you're naturally handsome. She's naturally beautiful. So why
Thank you.
go that way, right?
Yeah. You know, I'm happy. I'm happy with myself. I really am. I'm happy.
Yeah,
with
you
myself.
are.
I don't feel my age. I don't think my age. And even with the gray hair and the gray beard, I still play on television, you know, 10 years younger than I am. I usually still get typed for 50s and stuff, you know, so it's not, like I say, it's just opened up a whole new world of characters that I get to play now, which I wasn't afforded the opportunity before for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah, that's got to be so much fun to do all that. And then the lines. And one of your more recent ones, I saw the reel because I loved this show with Sarah Jessica Parker. And, you know, the sequel, I guess, the after part to Sex and the City.
Yeah.
So how was it being on set there?
Let me tell you, she was a doll, and she had a reputation of being a doll, of being just a sweetheart.
Yeah.
And quick story, this proves what a great person she is. My honey has had some health issues in the past, dealing with cancer. She's a 3-time survivor. So you think I'm tough. Liz is the toughest person I've ever met in my life.
Wow.
The day we were shooting that, and, you know, we hung out together, obviously, because we're, you know, shooting a scene together. And maybe early in the morning, maybe in an early conversation, it came up or something that my honey, Liz, was a cancer survivor or whatever. I don't know how we got to that point, but we just talking. She was very nice, and we talked. At the end of the day, when I was leaving, now this is 14 hours later, she gave me a hug and said, give Liz a hug for me too. And I'm glad that she's doing okay.
Wow.
For her to even remember her name that I mentioned maybe once 14 hours ago. Oh, Jesse's making a cameo.
Gail has one of those too.
I got a couple of cats that might come in and out of the picture. But that left such an impression on me, you know, because again, it meant that we were actually having a real conversation. You know, it wasn't one of those phony show business like, oh yeah, what have you been up to? And,
Yes.
Well, I'll be, you know, shooting in Fiji next week and all that nonsense. You know, that she's fantastic.
She comes across like that on screen. I mean, I've always watched her do things, and it seems like how genuine of a person she is comes across no matter what role she's playing.
Very down to earth. The crews all love her. She's very good to the crew. You know, whether you be you know, the 16th PA or a grip or the assistant director, she's just phenomenal to everybody. That was a fun guest spot. Yeah.
But you know what? So are you. And that's what blows the minds, because when a lot of people knew, they were just like, how do you know him? And, you know, I'm like, okay.
Does he owe you money? Does he owe you money too? Is that what they said?
Well, you know, Lou, that's why I have you on the show. You know, we're going to talk.
Gail's a magnet. That's how she knows you. She's a magnet.
Is amazing. From the first time we met from so many years ago.
We hit it off. Me and Gail hit it off.
We really did. And I'm so thrilled to see how your career has just been blowing up in good ways. And you really speak for all the underdogs. And you know, the reason I've done this show and I've said this is because when kids especially are looking at, hey, I want to be like Lou Martini Jr. You keep going and it's the persistence in this business. And you know, I know, as Kristina was talking about with Sarah Jessica Parker, but you've been with Anne Hathaway, James Franco, the list goes on, but you remain humble and untainted by all that.
Thank you. I've been doing it a long time.
Yes,
I
from
started out in 1964.
Or Mary Tyler Moore. Yeah.
Wow.
1964. Speaking part was with Mary Tyler Moore in a movie called What's So Bad About Feeling Good.
That's
And,
right.
I made the decision a long time ago, and this is really important for the youngsters that are listening out there. Like you mentioned, one of the two P's is perception and persistence. Those are the two most important things in this business. Is what they perceive you to be, which you may not actually be that, but what they perceive you to be, which will
Yeah.
get you work, and
Yeah.
persistence. I
Yeah.
have never stopped since 1964 because
Yeah.
in my heart, this is always something I wanted to do. And yeah, maybe I haven't reached the level of stardom or anything like that, but I'm proud of my work. I'm a working character actor. I'm a respected guy. My work is respected, and that's all you can ask for. Is just if you want to do this, you got to make sure this is the only thing in life you want to do. You can't do it as a hobby or as a sideline or on the weekends. It's very, very difficult to make a name for yourself in this business if it's just a hobby. You really got to pour your guts into it, and you got to put the work in. You got to do the student films. You got to do the off Broadway plays. You have to go on sets and meet people. I mean, I people think your work is over when you leave the set that night. No, the next morning when I get up, I'm on a computer reaching out to directors, casting directors. Hey, I heard you doing this. Is there anything here for me here? And it's
It's a
you're
hustle.
constantly looking for work.
You are
Okay, so-
amazing.
So
I'm so proud of you. Well,
I'm the most famous, not famous person in the business. They like
Yeah. I think you are famous.
I think so too. I think
But
so
people
too.
say that it's funny.
Yes.
He's famous for not being famous. He just works. I just work.
Yeah.
You're very versatile because as you showed in Law and Order, I love you strut your stuff. You go in there and you're very, very, very.
I just did another one last week. It was my 19th episode. I just did a crossover. So usually I play Counselor Ron Freddo on SVU, and they had me play Freddo on Organized Crime last week. So that'll be on in a couple of weeks.
So how does it feel when they keep giving you this reoccurring and the familiarity, as Kristina said, because something, you have so many people who are working with you, and it must, the way you come in, Lou, I just love it. You're just like, hey, I even put it in my promo. It's just like, hey, everybody calm down. Like, well, we can't because it's Lou Martini Jr.
That was a fun one. Yeah, that was a scene with Ice-T.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was a fun. Like that. Also, that group, that Mariska and everybody over there, and Peter and everybody, they're great people. A lot of fun when I go to work over there. It's fun. It's really fun. It's really fun.
Yeah. That show is it like the longest running show? I mean, how many seasons does that show have?
I think it passed Bonanza now.
Wow.
Really?
It was close to like in the Bonanza range, 24 years or something like that.
Wow.
24 seasons.
Oh,
So
yeah.
hey, it's the great thing about the Law and Order family. Like I said, that was my 19th episode I shot last week of the family, Law and Order, SVU, Criminal Intent. But it's gotten so much work for people in New York. All those shows, Dick Wolf and NBC. They've really put a lot of actors on the map and given us a lot of work over the years. So thank God for the Law and Order family. They've been wonderful to me. NBC and the Law and Order family have been wonderful to me.
Well, obviously the response has been wonderful for you, because let me make sure that I do mention that you won the prestigious Best Actor Award at the nation's fourth biggest film festival at Houston World Fest for your portrayal of a down on his luck theater director and devout nudist in dark comedy.
I think I got the award because I had the guts to be, nude from the waist up the whole movie. I think that's it was a dark comedy that we shot in my home away from home, Houston, Texas, which I went to school in Houston, and I still have very, very close ties in Houston. Go down there to work and go to basketball games and football games and stuff. But yeah, that was a dark comedy we shot about 5 years ago. And first of all, to be nominated I was blown away, because first of all, you don't get nominated for comedies.
Right.
A dark comedy. I was,
James.
And I was nominated against Edward James Olmos and Eric Roberts and some really big heavyweights.
Wow.
And when they called my name, I was like, all right, there's got to be a mistake. They got the wrong envelope.
Oh, come on.
I won. I've won some awards over the last couple of years. Maybe I'm getting good at it. Finally.
Yeah, I think so. But it's the gray hair too.
It's
all because you were natural.
I was a brunette when I won that award. That was one of my brunette roles. I went out with a bang, the brunette winning that award.
Yes.
Of course, everybody knows you from Anthony Infante from The Sopranos, and
Yeah.
with the big glasses and the lovable eyeglass doctor. And you were on the last season of HBO's The Sopranos, and James Gandolfini, as we mentioned in the beginning. You learned a lot from him. And I remember when you and I were talking, you were sharing a lot of those sage moments that you had with James Gandolfini.
Yeah, he was the most generous guy, just generous. It was all about getting the scene right and getting the work right. And it was never about him and how he looked or how he sounded. It was about everybody in the scene, everybody else in the scene, making sure they looked good and it came across and the story was being told. I think I told you a quick story. You know, I was the new guy on the set, and I came along in the 6th season, and I did 5 episodes in the last season. But one night we were working, probably, you know, it was like maybe February or March. It was one of those nights where it was cold and it's starting to drizzle. And we're outside. It's the last shot of the night outside of the strip club, the Satin Dolls. And the last shot was my close-ups, my coverage in this scene. So I did like 1 or 2, and I wasn't happy with what I was doing. And Jimmy sensed that, but me being a new guy, I didn't want to turn to the director and say, "Hey, Henry, could I do a couple more?" You know, the crew wants to go home. It's raining, it's tired, it's late.
Yeah.
I didn't even want to ask. You know, I was just like, whatever. It's my close-ups or whatever. It's fine. If it's not great, it's not great. But Jimmy sensing this said, "Hey, Lou, you want to do a couple more? You want to?" I says, "Jimmy, I know, but no." Jimmy turned to the director. He says, "Henry, you know what? I want to try something with Lou. I want to do a couple more here, if that's okay."
Wow.
That's a guy. So basically, Jimmy took the hit with the crew for me, saying he wanted to
Yeah.
do a couple more,
Yeah.
so I didn't have to ask for a couple
Wow.
more. And then we did a couple more, and the scene turned out great. And that's the kind of guy he was. It was all about getting everybody feeling good, everybody being fulfilled with what they were doing.
See, these are the things that are so on this side of things, so incredible to hear, because I know that it does take a lot of work and you have to be good at what you do to keep working this long. And it just seems like to hear the stories of how important, like everyone takes it, these people take it really seriously and they want to make it like their vision. And, you know,
Absolutely.
it's art, you know,
Absolutely.
and so it's awesome to hear stories like that.
And to this day, I don't think Jimmy gets the credit as an actor that he
Yeah.
deserved playing that role. I mean, for example, now when we were in between takes, he was Jimmy Gandolfini. He was just a regular nice guy, unassuming, you know, just really regular guy. But as soon as he heard rolling, the most amazing transformation, everything changed. His posture, his breathing, his facial twitches and stuff like it was just the most amazing thing to see. And that, like I said, that's just a phenomenal piece of acting. And I don't think he ever got the credit. You know, I think he won 1 Emmy. He might have won 1.
Yes.
I think he won 1.
Yes.
But to see this transformation, to go from Jimmy, just a nice guy from Jersey, to this charismatic monster in Tony Soprano in a snap of a finger, like this when he said rolling. It was like going to acting class also. Just to watch that was amazing because he literally transformed from Jimmy from Rutgers into Tony Soprano like that. The two completely different guys. If you knew Jimmy, there's no Jimmy in Tony Soprano. Just they're 2 completely different guys. And the transformation was amazing. And God bless him. God bless him.
You just made his awards so monumental by what you just shared again. And it's
he's one of the greats, absolutely one of the greats, and a greater person than a greater actor. Just can't speak
and
out
look
of
at
it.
what you behold, because now you have that gift and he saw that and you get to pay it forward and we get to see that. So he actually hasn't really died, has he?
No, he's with us.
Comes through you, right?
Yeah,
Comes through you and we get to see that.
as a matter of fact, he's right. Well, I got the screen blurred out, but you see, this is my poster from season 6. This is the season 6 poster. Everybody signed for me. Jimmy signed it right here.
Oh my
To
goodness.
Lou, great work, great times. Love you, Gandolfini.
Wow.
That's so great. Since you have done so many different things over the years, has it been often that you've seen people just stay in character the whole time, like how you said Jimmy, could go back and
Yeah,
forth so
yeah.
easily.
You work with some actors like that. With James Franco was in character the whole time, which could be a little bit annoying.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, sometimes it could be annoying. But hey, if that's the way the guy works, you got to respect that. I don't have to.
Yeah.
I can be Lou, and then when they say rolling, I process what I need to process, and I go for it. But some people, that's their method of work. Some people walk around 6 weeks like that.
Wow.
I mean, it's a
Yeah.
story of when they shot Heat, when Al Pacino and Robert De Niro shot Heat.
Yeah.
They only faced each other, I think, 3 times in a movie. They made sure they didn't face each other during the shoot, and they were both in character for 6 weeks.
Wow.
I mean, that's the way some guys work.
Yeah.
Angelina Jolie was saying that too when she was doing, working with Winona Ryder. She would not sit next to her. She would not look at her, anything. And Winona Ryder started getting a complex, like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
But but that's the method. And I have to give it to you all, because I've done a little bit myself, and I stood there and I'm like, oh my goodness, this is not for me. This is where I like to be. Interviewing, my dear, and saying all the accolades, all the blessings that belong to you. This is where I sit on my
Right. Well, you're great. You're great at what you're doing with that also. So God bless.
Thank you
God
so
bless. You guys do a
much.
great job. Great job.
Thank you. Well, that just means you have to come back, my friend, because I know it's always
Anytime, any place, anywhere. You got me. Absolutely.
we would love it. We would love it. And I want to make sure, because I know we have a few more minutes on the clock, but any projects or anything upcoming that we should be aware of, because I want to make sure that we put that all up there.
Well, we got a lot of things. As I think maybe when I did your show the last time, I just started with my partner with a production company, and we were trying to produce things and create our own content, which is going pretty well. So we're going to be shooting a Christmas movie in the spring called The Brooklyn Christmas, and hopefully that'll be on a platform maybe like Netflix.
Extras
time.
go out there for you.
The Brooklyn Christmas, that's coming on. Let's see. So we have 2 television pilots that we shot. One is called Sobering, and we have, I can't say his name, but we have an A-list showrunner who's ran 3 or 4 big shows already. And he saw the pilot and he loved it. We just attached him. So we're pitching that to the networks. Maybe we'll get lucky with that.
Nice.
And TV wise, I've got Organized Crime coming on in a couple of weeks.
Nice.
I did a guest for Aquafina, Nora from Queens.
Really?
She should be coming on. She was fun. That was a fun bit.
Oh my goodness.
So that's coming on. And you know me, I'm all over the place. It's
Yes, you are.
just trying to pay the bills and keep my family happy and feed my cats. Keep my cats fed.
Well, you do a wonderful job. We love watching you. Lou Martini Jr., it has been a pleasure. We have his reels, as Kristina mentioned, on our Facebook, but we will post the links on YouTube, because we are so thrilled that you were
Yeah, it's my latest stuff. Some of my latest stuff is on there.
I'm sure it's going to be expanding. So clear off the mantelpiece, because I'm sure there's going to be more awards.
We hope. Hey, I just want to work. Awards are gravy, You just want to work, and you want to be liked and respected, and so far we're doing okay. We're doing
and those awards help you to get more work too.
Yeah, they do. Yes, they do.
Right. That's right. Absolutely. Lou Martini Jr., he is always a pleasure. So make sure that you're watching Law and Order, and make sure that you also are tuning in and checking out on Facebook. You can see a lot of the posts, and don't miss a moment of it, because he is the real deal. And we are always so honored. And we're certainly going to have him come back. And we hope that you will as well, on Gail Scott Key's Entertainment Now with Kristina Millsaps. Hope you all have a wonderful evening.
Thank you, guys. Love you.
Lou.
Thank
you.